Hey you guys, Pretty Tarot YouTube channel here, and I just felt the need to make a video real quick because um, like the rest of you, even though I'm a tarot reader, you guys should know that tarot readers, psychics, whatever people want to call themselves, they all have their own favorite tarot readers, psychics, healers, you name it. And just like you guys, because we're normal human beings like the rest of you, um, we have people that we go to when we need spiritual guidance and counseling. We have people we go to when we want to be entertained and things like that, or whatever. And so that's probably a big misconception. So many of us do watch each other's channels. Some of us, the reason why we started our channels is because we stumbled across someone else's channel and, got the inspiration and, hey, I'll go ahead and do my own channel. And some of you who are watching my channel and other people's channels, there's a handful of you that are going to feel inspired yourselves by watching our channels, mine or whoever's channel you're watching, and you're going to say, you know what? I want to learn the tarot, or I want to learn to develop my intuitive psychic gifts or whatever, and I want to become a light worker and a healer as well, and I want to do the same thing, or I want to start a channel, whatever. And that's perfectly okay. That's wonderful. That's a blessing. But it's one of those things where one of my favorite tarot readers, psychics, or whatever they want to refer themselves as, they kind of disappoint me lately, and not just them, but several others as well. Sorry, I got crayons over here. But because there's lately been going on this whole, and this has been going on for a while now. It's just I've never said anything about it before, but now I'm saying something. There's beef going on between tarot readers and psychics on YouTube. And it's like, really? For what? Why? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of silly and it's petty. And I just want to say, when you see people doing these kind of things, it's kind of best to just kind of tune out from it. Don't feed into it, don't give into it, and use your own good common sense, use your own intelligence, use your own discernment, use your own intuition, use your own gut feeling about readers and psychics. Okay, no matter if it's on YouTube or if it's at a psychic fair or healing fair or on a website or something for psychics or whatever. Use your own good common sense. You guys will know if someone's scamming you or not. You will know if someone is a phony or not. But there is not one reader here on YouTube, off of YouTube, that can define what it means to be a legitimate psychic slash tarot reader, and there really it's kind of hard to try to typecast anyone based off of certain standards, but there's no one who gets to really set a standard for what a good reader or a psychic is, or who's real and who isn't, who's phony, who's scamming. I appreciate anyone who does, though, take a stand to stand up for their followers and viewers and try to help them avoid being scammed. If their viewers come to them and say, hey, this is an issue, this is a problem, that's wonderful, because that means this person cares. And they want to look out for others, in their field, and they're trying to protect they're trying to protect the image as well of other tarot readers and psychics, because we do get typecast and stereotyped a lot with negative views that we're going to hell, and we're into the devil, and we do witchcraft and spells and voodoo and everything else that's on, and that we are all scammers and fake and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all of that is total bull. Okay? Many of us, can't say all of us, but many of us are clean, pure, and spiritual. Not into nothing negative, not into nothing nasty, not doing nasty, mean, terrible things. And be honest with you, you'll get to kind of know and be able to tell who's into what and who isn't into what. Follow your gut instinct. Follow your heart. Follow the intuition that everybody has. Everybody has it. Follow it. If something doesn't sit right with you, or someone doesn't sit right with you, you don't trust them and their work, or you don't trust their source of their work, please avoid them at all costs. Oh, my kid is always busting in, but it's okay because this is not a reading. But hopefully he's not going to make too much noise in this video. But let me close that door because too much noise. That's too much noise in the background, babe. All right. You don't need all that noise in the background, okay? But yeah, but no one gets to set the standard for who's real and who isn't. Now, there are some things, yes, that you should follow by, but things such as, oh, well, somebody doesn't show their face in their videos and things like that, that's not a standard, okay? You have many people on here as YouTube creators who do not want to show their face, especially readers. And the number one reason for that, well, actually, there's two top reasons for that. One of the reasons is there's this thing of many of us do not like to share with the whole world or the general public or even people that we know that this is what we do. We're fine with our audience and our clients knowing, but there's some of us we're not quite comfortable with our friends and family members, co-workers, because a lot of us have jobs outside of this and other things that we do outside of this, and we do not necessarily want everyone in our business because there's still, like I said, a stigma on what we do. And until there is more positive light shed on psychics and healers and tarot readers and stuff like that, it's one of those things where many of us may not feel comfortable with letting everyone know this is what we do. We're fine sharing our gifts with our clients and our audience, but I have people who I know personally, they do not approve of tarot readers, psychics, or whatever, intuitives, and I respect how they feel, but it doesn't mean I want them all in my business about what I do. Same thing as we may not want a coworker to just go on YouTube, come across our channel and be like, oh, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I actually had someone, they're an acquaintance or whatever, to actually be like, hey, such and such, I saw you on YouTube. And she was like, I didn't know you were a tarot reader and, things like that. And luckily for me, they weren't, being judgmental or anything like that. But, I know people who have actually been judgmental, Get out of my video. Get out of my video. You're not supposed to be in my video. You can say hi, but that's about it. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay, no, out of my video. Out of my video. Out of my video. Out of my video. Okay. Okay, you didn't say hi. All right. That's enough. That's enough. You didn't say hi. I need to get back to my message. You're totally interrupting my message. Okay, so lost my connection there, but and yeah, that was my munchkin. But yeah, back to what I was saying before. Yeah, so there's people who they are not okay with what we do, and they may wish bad on us, or they may spread all our information everywhere. And for those of us who have professions outside of what we do here on YouTube, or outside of what we do, period, in this profession, and many of us do have other careers and other jobs and other businesses and other associations outside of what we do professionally as tarot readers, psychics, intuitives, healers, whatever. Okay. And it's okay to not want to have this particular area of our lives or our careers or professions spill over into other areas of our careers and professions. And there shouldn't be anyone shaming other tarot readers or psychics about any of that, Now I understand, like I said, they mean well, so they weren't necessarily trying to, but people have to be very careful to be very specific and precise about what they mean and what they're saying so that people don't misunderstand them and misinterpret what they're saying and where they're really coming from. Because if you know, and you guys may know who I'm talking about, but if you make a video and you type in certain specific things as a message in your video and you say certain things in your video in regards to this field of work, people are going to take it precisely as you put it. So you have to take the moment to kind of think about these things. Like I said, you may mean well, people may mean well, but you have to be very careful and precise to not throw anybody under the bus or to not disregard anybody, the considerations of the tarot readers themselves, because tarot readers and psychics, they have the right to privacy. They don't have to expose themselves on camera to do what they do. And it doesn't mean that they're any less sincere or that they lack integrity or that they're not honest about what they're doing. The other thing, another reason why someone may not show their face on camera or whatever, or they may not be on camera, it's because it takes time and effort to make oneself presentable to do these videos. Right now, I'm wearing I call it my bum hat. I like it, but it's what I wear when I don't have time to make myself presentable or whatever, you know, to do videos or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to get dark in here. Sorry. I don't really feel like turning the light on because guess what? I don't have all my makeup and stuff on. And I actually care about that. You know, I don't care about it as much, which is why I'm still doing the video. But you have some people out here, they do not want to show their face unless they are looking presentable. I know people who will not step outside of their door, especially women, without makeup on their face. Now imagine they're doing a broadcast on YouTube. Can you imagine them getting on camera without makeup on, without their hair done, without them feeling like they're wearing a nice top or something? That's their right to feel however they feel about presenting themselves. What we do is literally broadcasting. This is just because it's YouTube doesn't make it any less professional or doesn't make it any less than broadcasting. If you have a video up anywhere, you are literally broadcasting and you're broadcasting to an audience. Many of the tarot readers on here have thousands of followers. Now, I don't have nearly as many followers as some, but I have enough to care about, you know, uh-oh. Uh-oh, you guys. This video has been interrupted like 1,000 times. Literally 1,000 times. But, yeah, like I was saying, if you're doing anything on YouTube, it is truly a broadcast, okay? And it should be taken seriously. Some people, they don't care. They're very comfortable in their own skin, so they can get in front of camera. However, you know, and that's awesome. But everybody's not that comfortable to get on camera, however, so they may not be on camera for that reason. The other thing, shuffling cards on camera. There's a lot of very impatient people out here who have no interest to see people shuffling on camera because for them, they feel like it takes too long. I've actually had people complain it takes too long. Nonetheless, 98% of the time I shuffle on camera. Only for the yearly annual forecast videos, I haven't shuffled on camera. And it's not because I was sitting around trying to do some phony schmony stuff and piggyback off somebody else's stuff. No. It's because the amount of cards that I was using to do this reading and the way I was going to do the reading, those cards needed to already be shuffled. Now, I could have shuffled on camera, but then people would have been moaning and groaning. Oh, your videos are... Like, somebody did, you know, give me some feedback, and which I appreciated, and I didn't feel it was negative. They told me that, you know, sometimes your videos are long if you can find a way to make them shorter, you know, and I took that into account. So I am going to be trying to find a way to make my videos shorter. Now that might include me not shuffling on camera. And when the camera come on, me saying, okay, I already shuffled, let's get to this. Or it may include me choosing to just use far less cards and shortening the readings, meaning less information, less details. That's how I'm probably going to have to do it, you know. But whatever the case is, it does not make anyone a phony if they choose to not shuffle on camera. And you can tell if someone's a phony or not, regardless if they shuffle on camera or not. Simply because how is it going to resonate if they didn't shuffle on camera? Could they have taken the time to go and look at somebody else's channel and memorize things or take notes or whatever? Sure they could, but who in the heck is doing all that? You know what I'm saying? That's really creative thinking. And maybe there is somebody out here doing that, but it never would occur to me that that's what's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is out here doing that, they, you know, shame on them. However, I feel like what's in the dark eventually will come to light. So you don't need to sit around, you guys, and worry about if somebody is being a scam or a phony. If they are, trust me, eventually they'll come to light. But the best way for you to know if someone's a phony, get a personal reading with them. And if nothing in the reading resonates, nothing makes absolutely no sense what they're telling you, then you'll know. And you know how I know? Before I was a tarot reader, like many of you, I would go to psychics and tarot readers. And one time I took my mother. And I kind of was standing around and, you know, was looking at others. It was at a fair. We were at a fair, a local fair, and they tend to have psychics there. And so I decided, you know, while my mother's getting a reading, I'm going to look around, shop around, things like that. But I couldn't but help but overhear this psychic telling my mother things, and she's also, I think, a tarot reader as well. Yeah, she was telling my mother things that didn't sound anything like her or her life. You know what I'm saying? It didn't sound nothing like her. And I was quite aggravated by it. And my mom just sat there saying nothing. And I wish my mother had said, you know, I don't guess maybe my mom didn't realize it's okay to speak up and tell people, hey, this doesn't sound anything like me. Are you sure you're reading for me and my energy? Are you sure? You know, are you sure you even know what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? My mother said nothing. And I'm the one who ended up paying for that reading because I was the one who was gifting her with it. But it was like, I was so aggravated that I had to pay for a reading. Now, that didn't sound nothing like her. Now, I could have very well spoke up and said something to this reader, but I didn't. I had seen her before, and when she read for me, I felt like the reading was fine. So I don't know why they were, you know, inaccurate for my mom. The reader next to her, I had done a reading with her. And now I'm going to tell you right now that woman was a phony. That woman was definitely a phony. The one my mom was sitting with, I don't know if her energy was just off that day or if she was still going with the energy from the prior person she did a reading with, or she's picking up energy off someone else nearby. But it wasn't my mother's energy she got. And I could tell that. And even my mother thought it was strange. But the reader I did, you know, got her reading with, I was so pissed with this woman, but nonetheless, I said, you know what? I'm going to pay her money. But if she out here frauding or whatever, it's going to come back on her. That money's going to come right back out of her pocket because it's a karma thing. So if somebody's out here frauding people and doing phony readings for people, don't worry about it. Don't be mad. You know, there are ways to get your money back. Yeah, like it's through your bank or whatever. But at the same time, know that those people will pay through their karma for being phonies and being frauds. You don't have to worry about them. Just put them on your list as don't go to them anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get a reading from someone, a personal reading, make sure you do your reference check. Check reviews. Look at their channel. You know, what are other people saying? Do their readings resonate when you look at their free general readings? And if they do, then, you know, 9 times out of 10, they should be fine. But also look at yourselves and say, Are you just disgruntled with the reading because you didn't like what you were told, because somebody didn't tell you what you wanted to hear? Or is it because they literally, were phony? Like, okay, if, for instance, if I get a reading and someone tells me that I have 10 cats and, my favorite color is red, and that, over the past year, I have been, I won the lottery and I've been living up the life, and in the future predictions, I'm going to marry, someone famous or something, like, what I'm saying? Something really ridiculous. And, something just so absurd. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell me I'm going to go and go do skydiving, even though I could be afraid of heights. If something is phony or fraud or not. You know what I'm saying? I would know clearly that that's a fraud, because they're telling me things about my life and things that I'm going to do that I know good and well doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But if I go to a reader and I want to ask about Tony, and because I'm all into Tony and I want to see if he's into me as well and if he's going to commit to me or not, and they tell me no, he's not, and no, it's not going to happen, I can't get mad at that reader because that's what they told me, especially if I feel like, well, I went to other readers and they told me we are going to be together and he is feeling me. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. 3 readers could have told you Tony likes you and you're going to end up being together and getting married. But then this one reader tells you Tony's not into you, you're not going to get married. You're not going to be together. You don't know if that one reader was right and all the others were scamming you, or if this one reader was wrong and scamming you and all the other readers were right. You don't know this until you allow things to play out. Either way it go, some readers could have been picking up on various different things, where maybe Tony don't like you right now, but maybe eventually down the line, he might start to see you differently and then start to like you. Maybe right now you don't have the potential, but maybe down the line you might have the potential. So one reader may be seeing one thing, whereas another is seeing another thing. And the one thing I appreciate about the beauty of tarot readers, psychics, or whatever is, and it's another reason why I love browsing the different channels, and I have so many different favorites myself, they all are going to pick up something unique in the energy, whether it's yours or the whole entire general sign that they're reading for. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But use your good common sense when you go to hire a reader. Especially if you're paying high prices, be careful. Just because someone's charging a really, really high price doesn't mean that they are probably going to be the bee's knees. You got some, they are definitely worth the price. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you got some people, they probably are out there scamming, and they go by this whole model, because they do this in retail too, that if you charge more for something, people are going to assume that it's premium and that it's better. Half the time it's not, because it's more about these products all came from the same wholesalers, and it's more about branding, and some people brand by price. You know what I'm saying? And they know that people assume that if something costs more, that it's worth more, or that it's more valuable or whatever. Now, trust me, I am not hitting on any readers that charge high prices or whatever prices they charge as is anything negative or being wrong. Charge for your time. Charge what you know you're worth. Charge what you feel you're worth. But what I'm trying to point out to viewers is you can't afford to assume that everyone who charges any kind of price is worth it. If they charge $10, doesn't mean they're worth it. If they charge $100 or $1,000 or $50 or $20 or whatever, it doesn't mean they're worth it. But people like to assume the more you pay for something, the more likely it is they're going to be worth it or authentic. You can't go by that. Check out their channel. Check out their reviews. Check out their views. Check out how long they've been around doing it. You got some people, they only been doing it for a little bit, but they're really good. But look at the whole picture, you guys. Look at the whole picture. That's how you will know. You can't go by just one thing or another or a few things. Don't be gullible. And a reader that truly knows their worth, they will charge a pretty penny. They probably will, because they know the energy it takes to go into this. It does take a lot of energy to do this. It truly does. And it's worth it, you know. But don't go just based off of that. Look at their work. Let the work speak for itself. Look at their reviews. Look at the comments and how everybody else feels about them. And you guys won't be getting scammed. Because I understand this is the reason why different tarot readers are addressing these different things. But they got to be careful to not typecast people in their own community. They mean well, but don't typecast. Like I said, if someone doesn't show their face on camera, doesn't mean anything. Someone who doesn't shuffle on camera, someone who doesn't show you the spread. Now that gets me more. Someone who doesn't show you the spread, that doesn't mean crap. Unless you're trying to learn how to do tarot reading, what do you need to learn what do you need to see the spread for? Unless you are an experienced tarot reader yourself and you're trying to analyze someone's work, what do you actually need to know the spread for? If you're an experienced tarot reader and you're trying to analyze someone's work to see if it's authentic or not, don't do that. Don't do that. Because everyone does things their own unique way. That's just like, okay, all the tarot cards have universal meanings. Every tarot reader knows that. Every tarot reader has taken the time at some point to learn those universal meanings to tarot cards. If they say they don't, they're lying. Now, the thing that separates and differentiates between one tarot reader to another is the fact that every tarot reader also assigns their own unique meanings to these same cards. So I've seen tarot readers, and long before I started learning, I used to go, like I said, tarot readers and psychics all the time myself, and I would get a tarot reader to tell me, well, in my deck, the Ace of Wands means pregnancy and fertility and sex or something like that, or it means pregnancy straight up. That's what they told me. And I kept trying to figure out, why would they say in their deck, in their readings and in their deck, that's what it means. And as I start learning the cards myself and start, exploring more of the cards and the universal meanings, and also looking and observing other readers, I came to realize throughout the years, even with myself, I came to realize this is why this means this to this reader and that reader, because I begin to gain my own associations for cards and what they mean to me. Even though I'm still going based off of the universal meanings, there are cards in my deck that they don't mean the same thing to me that they mean to another tarot reader. And then you got some tarot readers, they like to go with zodiac signs based off of the major arcanas and even sometimes the minor arcanas. I don't do that. The only thing I do is I go based off the court cards, kings, queens, and that's it. I don't use pages and I don't use knights to gain zodiac signs. I don't do it. I don't even bother to specifically go with a particular zodiac sign. I just go with the energy, the element, and I mentioned it could be an air sign, which could be Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Now, if something slips out of my mouth, because like I said, this is all spiritual, there are times things will just slip out of my mouth and I'll mean to say one thing, but a certain sign comes out of my mouth or whatever, or I'll say it for some reason. I just keep hearing this or I keep hearing that, and I'll tell you guys that that's intuition. That's the intuitive side kicking in, or the psychic side kicking in. We all got unique gifts. You know what I'm saying? And so there's nothing wrong with the way anybody reads the cards. There's nothing wrong with anybody explaining the meanings of the cards either, so that they're teaching their audience what these cards mean. That's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking that at all or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I forgot where I was going with this, but because I'm talking too much, the video is already long, but you guys can fast forward it. And that's the other thing. If a video is too long for you guys, go to the settings of the video and speed it up to either 1.5 or 2. That way the video will play in half the amount of time, sped up. We may sound like Mickey Mouse or some other character, cartoon character, but you will still hear everything that's said in the video without, anything having to be edited out of video or anything like that, if for you guys that are in a rush. But yeah, no one it's not essential for anyone to see the spread that the tarot reader is doing. It's not unless you're trying to learn. And if you guys are trying to learn, then express that to the reader. Hey, I think you're a great tarot reader and I would love to learn from you. Can you please start showing the spreads? And if they want to do that, then they'll do that. Otherwise, they're not obligated to, and it does not make them any less honest. It doesn't take away from their integrity as a tarot reader. It doesn't mean they got something to hide. It does not. That's a load of crock. Someone who doesn't shuffle on camera, that's their business. I shuffle on camera 99 or 98% of the time. It doesn't mean I'm more honest than the next tarot reader who doesn't. If you don't trust people because they don't shuffle on camera or you can't see their spread, then go on to the next reader who does do it. But don't stereotype them and say, oh, they're full of crap and they're not being honest, blah, blah, blah. That's ridiculous and it's absurd. And no one gets to tell any tarot reader or psychic how to do their work. No one gets to set the standard either for, oh, this is how it should be done and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not being negative. I'm just keeping it real. You guys like people keeping it real. You like the truth. That's the truth. Tarot readers put a lot of their time and energy into these readings and they're free. You can't tell someone how to do their work. Even if you're paying for it, you cannot tell somebody how to conduct their business and do their work. You cannot. If you want to pay someone who's going to shuffle their cards on camera and, you be able to see the spread and all of that, go to those readers and pay those readers only. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell other people that they're phony or that they can't do that. Now, when someone, whether it's a free reading on my channel or someone's paying me, you see me shuffle. You see me shuffle. You don't see my spread, but you see me shuffle. You know why you don't see my spread? For one, I didn't know anybody cared about the spread. Two, it doesn't matter unless you're trying to learn. Three, you have to have like a... and I can't find mine, this should be on this table, a tripod, and not just any old kind of tripod. At one point, I had a tripod. The doggone thing is cheap. The doggone thing broke. And it doesn't help that my child also broke it too, and I tried to repair it. I don't know what tripods some of the readers are using to be able to focus from themselves to the table, because I have seen different readers do that, which is cool, but I don't have that kind of tripod. Some of us don't. And unless you're doing this full time, and I'm not doing this full time, there's plenty of us that aren't. We do this in our spare time when we have the time to do it, or when we are making time for clients or whatever. It's not necessarily a priority for us, because that takes more time, energy, and effort. Does it mean we don't take what we do seriously? Not at all. But unless someone is requesting this and we don't mind doing it, I don't see any reason to do it. It's never affected any readings that I've heard anyone get, or that I've given, or that I may have gotten myself. I haven't gotten a personal reading from a psychic in years, in all honesty. But if I did, I wouldn't give two dilly doos if they had a way to show me the spread. You know what I'm saying? Would it be cool to see them shuffle? Sure. But I would, if that's what is important to me, then I would go to whoever I know does shuffle on camera. But think about it. If you get a phone reading, or if you get an online chat reading. I used to do readings professionally on Keen and other sites as well. Keen, Ask Now, other sites years ago. And I stopped doing it because I just decided to take a hiatus from that or whatever, and I don't really like their platforms that much. But those sites are top. They get a lot of business. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they do is phone readings and online chat readings and email readings. That's it. You don't see video readings on any of those top sites. YouTube is the only place you can come find readers if you're aware of it. And if you're aware that people are doing these readings on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, you're lucky and you're blessed. And I'm going to tell you why. Because like I said, it took me years to figure out people were doing this. Other than that, people had to go to, before people were even doing this, they had to go to psychic fairs, or they had to go to sites like Keen, and Ask Now and other sites or whatever that, take a ton of money and things like that. But, and it was, the only way it was to do it, like I said, was in person somewhere, or, over the phone, or online chat, or an email reading or something like that. And if you ever had any of those readings, and some people still offer those kind of readings, what are you going to say? They're a phony because you can't see what they're doing? No, if it's accurate and it resonates, they're not a phony. If you look at the reviews, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword, be careful to not stigmatize and stereotype the way someone does their work to figure out if they're a phony or not, or if they're a scam. You can't, you can't really do that. There's only one way to know someone's a phony or a scam. You get a reading with them and nothing makes absolutely no sense. Nothing absolutely resonates. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way to truly know if someone's a scam or not. But if you follow your gut, trust your instinct, don't be gullible. Don't just go to any old body just because. Take a minute. Back in the day when I used to get readings, I didn't just jump to just a reader instantly to get a reading. I would take my time. I'd read the reviews from other clients they've had. I'd look at their work if I could. You know what I'm saying? If they had a website, whatever. In this case, you guys are looking at YouTube professionals. So there's no reason you can't see what they're doing and know if it resonates with you or not, and if you get a reading with them, if it's going to be bogus or not. It's a rare occasion, but if someone has a YouTube channel, their readings resonate on YouTube, but then you get one with them, and then a personal reading for you is completely bogus. It is what it is. But I don't know if there's a 100% way to guarantee you're going to avoid a phony. I just don't, because you got people, like I said, if they're going to scam you, they'll find a way. You got to use good common sense and intelligence, and like I said, trust your instincts, trust your gut. We all have intuition. Don't be too lazy to use it because you feel like you don't have it. You have it. We all have it. I'm trying to think if there was anything else to cover. There's nothing else to cover. Only thing I want to say is, as a community, we are tarot readers, psychics, intuitives, astrologers, whatever. We are light workers. We are light workers, and light workers are here with these gifts and with these talents and with this interest to learn these things to help others. That is our real, true goal and purpose here, is to help others. Use these gifts to help others, to learn these skills, to also help others. So in order to be a light worker and be the best of you, you have to be positive. You can't afford to be walking around being a naysayer, and you cannot, it's just not productive to put anyone else down or say certain things in order to uplift oneself. It's like I said, I don't mind anybody trying to look out for their followers, look out for viewers and things like that. That's empowering to the viewers, and I appreciate the empowerment to other tarot readers by removing myths that we're negative people who devil worship and going to hell and all this other weird stuff. Yeah, I totally appreciate that. God, I totally appreciate that. But like I said, let's be careful that we're not stepping on anyone else unnecessarily. Be specific with your words and things. Make sure that you're not trashing anybody else or dragging anybody else through the mud and having followers and viewers head for the hills because supposedly this and that and that and that is supposed to be telling of who's a phony and who isn't, because that's misleading in itself. You may mean well, but don't be misleading by telling people head for the hills if they don't do this and they don't do that. Like, that's not productive. And there's tons of like success and room for success to go around for everyone. You know what I'm saying? I have other YouTube channels. This is not the only one. And my other YouTube channel has nothing to do with tarot reading or intuitiveness, nothing. My other tarot channel, I mean, not my, not my the tarot channel, but my other YouTube channel. It's a beauty blog. It's a beauty and product review blog. You know what I'm saying? Has nothing to do with any of this. There's so much room on YouTube to make success and to do the things you like to do and not have to knock anyone else down, not have to question anyone else in the way they do things. You know, empower one another, and it's okay to warn viewers and followers to avoid scams and frauds, but let's be careful in what we're wording and how we're wording it, because it can be misinterpreted as an insult or a knockdown to others when that may not be even where anyone's coming from. But there are some people on YouTube that are like knocking other people. I'm not naming any names. You guys will know who. And I don't have a problem with any tarot readers right now. I don't. I have all my favorites and I respect everyone. I have no problems with anyone. And this video is not targeting anyone. I have my favorites. But I'm just saying I've noticed these things and I just felt the need to speak up and say something. Sorry it took a whole hour to do so. Speed the video up and you can see it in half the amount of time. But I'm just dispelling myths and things about tarot readers, psychics, and viewers and things. Like, you know, dear viewers, support these channels that you're watching. Don't knock them, support them, because it takes a lot of time and energy to do what they do. And people, you know, they don't need people being skeptical of them and saying they're phonies just because they're not doing things the way you think they should be doing, or because another tarot reader says they're not doing things the way they think they should be doing them. You know, let's be positive. Let's be supportive of one another, because it's a beautiful community and there's so much from everyone to take from it in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Once upon a time, this didn't exist. Once upon a time, this didn't exist. There was no such thing as free readings. There was no such thing as you can go from one channel to another. And that's another thing. That's the final thing I want to say is to viewers. Like I said, be respectful, be mindful of any tarot reader or psychic, astrologer, whoever who is on here, who is giving of themselves and their time. I have literally had a couple of people, and it happens here and there, to make rude, negative, nasty comments. And I appreciate all of you, those who are positive and give positive comments and positive feedback. But I've had some people to really attack me, and I've seen them do it with other readers too, where they show complete ingratitude and complete self-righteousness and complete, just inconsideration for the amount of time and effort that tarot readers and intuitives and psychics and astrologers put into the work they do. If you don't like something, go elsewhere. If you don't like something, it's okay to voice your opinion in a constructive way and to be respectful when you do it. But to come at people in a way that you're being disrespectful to them, or rude, or complaining, whining, all these other things, don't do it, because you're not entitled to anything. Unless you're paying for a reading, you're not entitled to anything. And even when you're paying for a reading, you have to keep in mind that you're getting whatever it is that you pay for. So if you find that there's something wrong with the reading, or something you're not satisfied with the reading, you know, and I've never had I've only had one time someone to seem like they were needing more information from a reading, but I gave them exactly what they were requesting and asking for. But nonetheless, I have respect for my clients, so I decided to make sure they got what they felt they needed. And they let me know that, yes, I did ask for this and you did give me exactly what I asked for. But I meant that I would like to also know this and that. So I went ahead and indulged them with that, because I felt like I appreciated their patronizing my business, and I appreciated them, and I wanted them to walk away from any reading that I'd done for them satisfied with the knowledge that they got, okay, and satisfied with the insight that they got. When it comes to my channel, I'm all for feedback, but be respectful, and do this with other readers as well. Be respectful. Don't get on their page complaining, talking about the reading wasn't long enough, or you made us wait for this or that, or the reading was bland and negative. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And understand, when you see these readings, no one's here to tell you what you want to hear. We are here to tell you what messages come through, whether you like the messages or not. And we're here to grow and learn. And if you see something you don't like, take it as a warning. We have free will to change either our perceptions and how we perceive situations, and empower ourselves to be more optimistic and positive and understand, well, this is a learning lesson for me. Or we can change behaviors and patterns to try to prevent this, negative things from happening, especially if they're repetitive negative things happening. We have to take into account our own actions, and we have to take responsibility for the way things play out in our lives. We're here to learn. We're here for spiritual growth. And if you're not accepting of the fact that everything is not going to be super peachy all the time, no one's here to tell you guys, yeah, tomorrow you're going to win the lottery and you're going to marry the person of your dreams and then you're going to live happily ever after. If someone tells you that, be careful. And it's not to say it couldn't happen, but they gotta give you something more than that to let you know, well, how is this going to happen, and what is the result of this happening? You know what I'm saying? But just be careful and be mindful. It's not to say if someone tells you something positive that it's not real, but when something negative comes up, don't be quick to dismiss it. Say, that's not what I want to hear, or that's phony, baloney, because it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want to hear. Anyway, I'm done talking. Once again, I have no problems with any tarot readers out there. I have a lot of favorites, and I truly support this community, and I hope this community supports me as well. I just wanted to address those things because I've been noticing a lot of different tarot readers put videos up and things, commenting about certain things, and it ain't just one. It's actually several, and I've been seeing this for a while now. It's just that I'm just now saying something because it's finally just kind of getting on my it's gotten on my last nerve. It really is bugged me enough to now say something, and especially with a most recent, there's a couple videos I've seen, 3 actually, that just kind of just like, what's going on in the community? What's going on? Let me speak up and say something. I don't care how people really feel about it, but let me speak up and say something, because everybody has a voice and opinion, and it's okay for us all to voice our opinion, but we need to be responsible with it. And hopefully I didn't say anything to offend anybody else or make anybody else feel like they got tossed under the bus. Definitely not what I'm trying to do here, but I'm trying to point out the other perspective. I don't even do half the things that was mentioned in this video, but I just kind of felt like just because I don't do those things and I do things differently doesn't mean that anybody else has the right to tell someone else that they can't do it, or that things have to be done this way or that way. Like, there's no dictators in this world. There's no one can set these standards for another reader in how they do their work. This is not a regulated field. Could it stand to be regulated? Maybe so, to avoid scam artists and things like that. So there, the people who are pointing these things out, they're not wrong for wanting to do so. Their intentions are well, but it's like they have to be careful to not stereotype or stigmatize people who don't do these things, because there's tons of really good readers out here who have a lot of integrity and wouldn't dare dream of stealing anyone's work, who wouldn't dare dream of wasting their time scamming other people, or you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people who do this work, they're very spiritual and they have the understanding that karma is real, dharma is real. What you do will come back to you, and that what's eventually in the dark will come to light. So I just, you got some people who they're desperate and they might be hard up, so they might do those things. But I have, I've come across more phonies and frauds in real life at fairs and at places of business than I have online or on YouTube or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's the ironic part, Literally, I have gone to fairs before years ago, psychic fairs at that. And because where I live, this is very prevalent. It's a very spiritual community where I live, where psychic fairs happen every weekend, just at different venues and things like that. And there's a ton of metaphysical stores and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are into these things. And so I've gone to fairs before where I literally requested my money back. You know what I'm saying? Because I would sit down with them in person, and they would literally tell me some bogus stuff or not tell me anything at all. And they would just like literally just be like trying to buy their time. And because, you know, at fairs, they do the readings in like 20 minutes, you know, 20-minute segments or whatever. And you pay for that 20-minute segment. And sometimes 30 minutes or whatever. But, you know, literally I've seen people in real life, you know how they say fake it till you make it? Like literally try to fake it through the whole thing, thinking that I didn't know any better. And some of those people I just let them slide. And I said, well, eventually it's going to tell on them. You know, they're not going to last long in this field doing this to people. They may get over on some, but they didn't really get over on me. I already know better. And, you know, but then there's some people I literally had to request a refund. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't do it to their face. I just would go to whoever is ahead of that fair and be like, yo, I don't know how you guys test these readers out, but this one is not, you know, they're not on the money. So give me my money back. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, I stopped getting readings. And I felt like I wanted to empower myself. So this is other thing you guys can do. If you get to a point where you feel like you can't trust readers out here, it's best to just stop going to readers and just empower yourself. Learn the tarot cards yourself. Anybody can learn them. Anybody. You could take a class. You could watch other readers' videos and learn. I may start putting up videos myself, teaching people how to do readings and spreads and stuff like that. And for free, you know, not necessarily charging, but, and it's nothing wrong with people who charge. If you charge, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. I just feel like I just probably want to do it for free. But that was one of my points, besides just taking the interest to learn, because I took a real interest in tarot. But I also want to empower myself. And I said, you know, rather than go to all these people, maybe I can learn myself, you know, and especially since I had the interest anyway. And I kind of knew that I had some gifts, but I knew I need to develop them. You have psychic development classes you can take. In psychic development classes, they teach you how to strengthen those gifts and how to tune those gifts. Everyone has a gift in some form or another. It's just that it's recognizing it, you know, and separating yourself from your ego to allow your spiritual subconscious self to you know, your higher self to be able to speak to you with your gifts, and so you can tune in to the divine spirit as well to hear the things or see the things that you need to see spiritually. So, you know, empower yourselves, you guys. If you get to this point where you feel like you don't trust people, and if you don't have an interest to develop those gifts or learn tarot, then that's perfectly fine. But don't be so hard on the poor tarot readers out here, because tarot readers and psychics catch a lot of heat. They catch a lot of hail from people who are not even a part of the community, from naysayers and people, like I said, who, you know, someone said in their video that we going to hell and that we, you know, devil worshippers and we into witchcraft and all this other ridiculous, dumb, false crap. And so we're catching hell from people like that. We're catching hell from people who we don't even want to know we're doing this, or if they do know we're doing it, they're judging us. And then we're catching hell from people who are supposed to be viewers and followers, you know, because they think we're not doing things the way they want to see us do it, or we're not telling them what they want to hear. So, you know, so if you ever get to that point, just check out. Check out. I checked out for a while, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do readings for a while. I didn't dabble with my tarot cards for a while. It wasn't until I accidentally stumbled across readings on YouTube. You know how long I've been looking at YouTube, but I never knew this stuff was on here? It was only barely about a year ago that I stumbled across a reading on YouTube, because they make suggestions in the feed. And when I saw it, you know, I saw this one lady's video, and then I accidentally somehow clicked on Tyler Tarot's video. But he's the one who kind of like really just kind of made me sit and pay attention. I was like, wow, because he was really good. And he also, of course, was really interesting because he's very, straightforward, blunt, and he's just, he's really like, he has a lot of personality, and he's funny to watch and interesting to watch, but he's, he's good. And after a while, I just kind of got inspired. I said, you know what? I think I want to get back into this. I want to pick my cards back up. I feel like I had a good enough hiatus or break to return to it. And so I did. And then like 2-3 months after that, I started my own channel. So thanks, Tyler, if you're watching or whatever. Thanks for the inspiration. I really appreciate it. And, so that's all I got to say, Much love to all the other readers out there, all other psychics out there. Let's empower one another, not throw each other under the bus. And like I said, maybe some of you guys aren't meaning to do that, but it kind of comes off that way, and it's the reason why people are being misunderstood. We got to be really careful how we say things, how we word things, and more importantly, maybe not even worry about the scammers. Just let's let the viewers and followers know that, hey, the only way to avoid a scammer is to check up on someone's work and to follow their work, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Look for reviews, look at their videos, look at their website, check on their following. You know what I'm saying? All that is telling. And like I said, YouTube now has given people the advantage of not only getting free readings, but to also see if someone's work is really authentic or not, and use good common sense, you guys, and follow your instincts, follow your guts. There's your instinct gut is always going to say something to you like, don't do it because this person might not be that good. And if you, like I said, if you end up somehow getting scammed, if you pay with your credit card, you probably can refute it, but maybe not. I'm not sure. It all depends. But sometimes you have to just take a loss. I have taken my fair share of losses in the world of getting readings through other psychics and tarot readers long before I ever started doing tarot and psychic readings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the territory. And I didn't sit and whine and mope. There are a couple of times I did get refunds. Then there are other times where I just chalked it up to experience, and it's what happens. And then I decided to empower myself, and then here I am. So sorry this video is an hour and 15 minutes. It is what it is. Peace.